I. We here to talk. We here to talk. All right, let me move this shit real quick. What's up? What's happening? KB's in this thing. K2 Goody Sleep with a up patron. You know the big dog won a ton. It looks like everything ain't going too well at the Joe Budden podcast. Everything ain't going too well over there, so we need to talk about it. You know what I'm saying? Let's get into it. So if you don't know, they've been having an alternating cast. Last time I spoke to you about it, we was talking about the Melissa Ford situation. At this point, I just don't know what's going on with it. At this point, I feel like it was a soft exit. She's doing her own thing. I don't know when she's coming back. If she's on like a long leave, I don't fucking know. But at this point, people are insinuating they took her out of like the promo vid they got and all this other shit. So I feel like she gone at this point, or she's taking a long leave of absence. But at this point, I don't know if she's coming back or not. At this point, a lot of people's insinuating you could go to Danny for the stop, Danny from the stop for the all-time coverage. But basically, it's getting to the point that's like, did Joe Budden choose Flip or Mel? Mel was having issues with Flip to the point she just had to leave when they weren't taking her side. And I do agree. Hey, listen, they did dogpile on her a little bit. I will say a little bit, but hey, that's just how it was at the time. So as we've seen, of course, with the additions of Marc Lamont Hill, who's great on the show, and even Mona, Don't Call Me White Girl, who I enjoy her. She's kind of like the woman Flip, if you will, but I do like that a little bit. She adds a little something, a little different dynamic. And I will give Mona this. She's more in-depth and will speak on more topics than Melissa Ford sometimes. And again, Melissa Ford was doing her thing. Sometimes I feel like she was doing her little PR thing and the movies and all this other shit. But sometimes I feel like even if she isn't well versed in the topic, she would just be mute and not really talk about shit and not even add her own perspective. Like I said, they do dogpile on her a lot, so sometimes I do feel like she was forced to take up a specific role because they would pile on her a little bit. And again, they all have loud voices. We all know Joe's loud, Ish is loud. Ice was the only like kind of quiet one, and Parks to a certain extent, but Parks is more of the sound engineer. He's making sure the show's good, and he's also a cast member, but you know what I'm saying. But even Mark, when Mark came in, he was loud as well. Flip, of course, is loud. So it was what it was. We always hear Corey laughing in the background. He don't even say nothing, but we just hear the laugh. So at the end of the day, we'll see what it is, but I feel like Mona is doing her thing. From the short time she's been on there, she's made an impression on me. I'm like, yo, I'm fucking with her. She's kind of cool. So anyways, fast forward, we hear the jokes that Flip might leave, this and that, when Surf come home. Yeah, I don't need your ass no more. Joking, haha, he, we thinking it's jokes or whatever the hell have you. But now we see that Marc Lamont Hill and Ish were the ones to have rumored to been having a fight. Joe came on the spaces with Ian, his manager, and Danny from the stop as well. And he was talking like, oh, there was a fight, there was a situation, get off and call me, when he was responding to Ian or whatever have you. So basically we found out it was Flip and Mark, which honestly, that won't make the most sense. It was either going to be Flip or Mark, maybe Mona and Flip. Or maybe like somebody involving Flip. Sorry to say that, but Flip, again, just because of the way his character is on the show and how he not really antagonizes, but his thing. I always say Flip is one of those people a lot of the time, like when there's certain topics he might not be well versed in speaking on, but then he'll always be like, yo, you want to fight and stuff? And I'm like, bro, that's not how you have proper discourse. You can't do that. So anyways, in Flip's defense, though, Mark was joking on his ass a lot. So again, maybe he got to the point he was at his wit's end. Flip basically insinuated he not calling you a sucker. He just saying you do some sucker shit. Mark wasn't fucking with it. He still felt like he felt away and yada yada yada. Anyways, they had a fight. They had to separate him. Mark was very like, well, we could go talk about. We go step outside. Da 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 da. You know what I'm saying? Going crazy. Da 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 da. You know what I'm saying? So it was what it was. So at this point, I don't know. Listen, we're seeing it. I don't know where it's gonna go. I'm not here to speculate all the time like Danny and Elevate and whoever else. At this point, we gotta see. See, Joe Budden has always had this thing about the revolving cast, and Mona's only here once a week, and this and that and that and this, and Mark is here, so these guys could get a break once a month or whatever the fuck have you, or da 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 da. But it gets to the point where you gotta see where people mesh well. Now, Flip's, I wouldn't say antagonistic, but kind of a little bit of bravado or certain things. I do feel like sometimes it doesn't mesh with everybody. We seen when Flip first came in, I don't think it got to this point. Well, of course, we know him and Amani had a little issue. But besides that, yeah, sure, he would argue with Ice or Ish here and there, but I feel like it got to get to the point they had to mesh well together, and I feel like even though him and Mona had a little back and forth, I think they're cool. But I feel like it's Mark's time now. Mark's been joking a lot on Flip, so I guess Flip could have had enough. And it's one of those situations where it's like, well, what is there to do now? Of course, motherfuckers gonna go check out the episode because probably the episode dropped. But it gets to the point. It's like, not to say that cast members will never fight or will always disagree or it won't get heated, but at the same time, it's like it's how things happen. This is where I do look at Joe. Not to say he has a bad business acumen, but it's like I know it's like I don't know who the fuck is the actual HR or if he actually does have HR because it's about like let's keep it we like especially we niggas, bro. We not gonna actually have a proper HR person, but like when you see shit like that, yeah. Like, even though I am fond of Mark, and I believe, yeah, I'm fond of it. Yo, Mike, sit at home, my nigga. Yo, Flip, sit at home. Like, this can't be happening. Now, Flip, you do this a lot. So, at some point, even though I do feel like Mark was joking on you a lot, I do gotta look at you a little bit like, my nigga, come on. You be doing this. And like I said, Flip not done. Flip been focusing on himself. So, I do feel like it will get to a point where we will see the Joe Budden podcast without a QueenzFlip. But like it gets to the point. It's like this is where I do have to look at Joe. It's like my nigga. I don't know if Corey Security, whoever the fuck, hey, separate these niggas. Stop it. Hey, give these niggas a couple. Like, hey, we not doing this. But then again, you could say you lose some of the magic of the show if they have to be guarded and do this. It's a tricky situation. But let me read a little bit. QueenzFlip and Marc Lamont Hill began to clash. Needless to say, this made a tense and uncomfortable few minutes for everybody involved in the clip. The two of them are seen arguing about how they view how each other act when they are not on the podcast, which who really cares, what they chose to make public, and more. Eventually, also, I don't know if it's because like Mark be in the spaces and be trying to like be cool with niggas. I don't know if that's also a thing because we all know Flip doesn't really fuck with like Danny or some other motherfuckers from the spaces as well. So again, that could also be another thing that I'm not picking up on. Anyways, back to this. Eventually, the situation escalated to the point where the two of them wanted to talk outside, but it made it clear that he wasn't going to allow the ordeal to continue on the premises. While the moment left both their co-hosts and viewers in shock. This doesn't shock me. Yo, whoever wrote this fucking article is tweaking. Anyways, back in August, for example, Marc Lamont Hill got into it with Imani. Well, because he threw the water. I don't really think that was a issue like that, but we'll see. We'll see if I can find the clip on Twitter. See, I don't know when it comes to like Twitter clips and shit, niggas like, you know what I'm saying? Copyright and all that. So I'm gonna try to put it in the video. If it's not in the video, then some copyright shit happened and it can't be there. Do your Googles, go on Twitter, you can find this shit. Twitter / you know what I'm talking about, my nigga. Anyways. Marc Lamont Hill proceeded to poke fun at the situation on X. I think the only reasonable response to this is to strip Imani and Joe of their eligibility or whatever that word is, bro, for Potter of the Month in August, teacher. Okay, this was the Imani and Joe shit. Yeah, so we ain't talking about that. That did happen. It was what it was. So them viewers. I'm just skimming through this. Yeah, the Drake lawsuit. Yeah, you did talk about that shit. Yeah, which we will talk about as well. You know, the Drake and Joe Budden feud. It continues. We'll talk about that in another video. But at this point, what do you think? I will say with the either departure or absence, because we haven't had the official word yet, which I don't think they will address it. I feel like she might actually be gone, or maybe she's focusing on her own shit, but it's a 50-50 right now of Melissa Ford, and the tensions really get. It's at some point that, again, I do feel eventually Flip will leave. And then, I don't know, again, like, and I did like Surf when, also Free Surf, when he was on the podcast. I did think he added something. So again, it's one of those situations. I don't know how this is going to happen, what's going to take place. But yeah, I don't think Flip going to be there for long. It's just me. Yeah, I feel like eventually he going to go and do his own thing. And then we'll see what happens with the rest of the cast. But yeah. Anyways, what do y'all think about this? Was y'all shocked to see this situation? But yeah, it's your friendly neighborhood Cat A. Sign off for today. Black TJ Deadweiler doing this thing. My name goes like Quasimodo. Hit like, subscribe. You try to hit a little bit more, you heard me. And I'm gone. Slimes on peace, y'all else, gang. Aye.